Welcome to the Accessibility Services module on Autism Spectrum Disorder. Autism Spectrum Disorder, ASD, is a neurodevelopmental disorder that may impact an individual's physical and cognitive abilities as well as their interpersonal communication skills. Persons with ASD may also experience challenges with emotional regulation, restricted interest, repetitive behaviors, and sensitivity to sensory input from environmental stimuli. Each person's lived experience with ASD and the impact on their academic well-being and personal wellness will be unique. Flexibility and open-mindedness is key. Learning about ASD and enhancing your skill set to manage your academics more effectively may be new and overwhelming. Keep it simple and begin by following the 10 tips for success. Tip number 1. Prioritize your well-being and focus on goal setting and what you did well in the moment by developing a daily, weekly, and term rewards. Tip number 2. Each week, complete a broad overview of all tasks and deliverables to be completed for each course. Be sure to identify your knowledge and understanding of each task and deliverable, along with the planned duration and level of importance or priority of each task and deliverable. Tip number 3. Develop a reading routine. Begin by reviewing the abstract and the introduction, followed by the summary and conclusion. Next, make a note of key terms, bolded items, diagrams, and images. Make sure you use the conclusion, summary, and questions for review as a guide when going through each reading. Tip number 4. To support synthesis of the information, practice summarizing and rephrasing lectures and readings. Try to pare down your summaries to reduce the volume of content for review. For example, 1 paragraph of content should equate to 1 to 2 sentence summary. Tip number 5. If communication with your instructors, TAs, and your peers is challenging, it may be helpful to create pre-made scripts and email templates or use a meeting agenda to help you guide the conversation. Your method of communication may change depending on whether the interaction is virtual or in person. Tip number 6. When additional support with course content is required, identify who you need to ask for help and what type of question you are asking and why, and the next best steps. For example, you may need to connect with your academic advisor to discuss sequencing of courses if you are on a reduced course load. All the information you gather can be organized in a chart for reference as needed. Take time to reflect on how and where you study. Think about your learning needs when you study on your own, with a group, or in a public or private setting, or virtually and in person. What works best for you? Tip number 8. Review old tests and assignments to become familiar with how instructors phrase and ask questions and the type of knowledge required to answer each question. For example, depending on how a question is phrased, verbatim recall or practical application of the course content may be more appropriate. Tip number 9. When a test or test question contains a lot of information, create a mini to-do list. Start by identifying the known and unknown variables and the necessary steps to complete the question. Be sure to check off each item or task from your to-do list as it is completed. Tip number 10. Be aware of how long an exam will take to finish. For example, if an exam is 2 hours, how much time will be spent reviewing the exam? How much time will be spent on each section or type of question? Does the estimated total time reflect the actual time available? Make sure you have allocated enough time to complete the exam in a timely manner. Remember, keep it simple and use the 10 tips for success to enhance your skill set and develop a learning path that is right for you. For more information on how to access services and supports through accessibility services, including information on learning strategies and troubleshooting in the online environment, please register for the Accessibility Services Learn course and subscribe to the Accessibility Services YouTube channel.